On the Tech Sports Network, Sports Information Director Greg Tadish, as we get our At the Half segment with Makenzie Schierding as a Saturday afternoon matchup here at the UHSP Gymnasium. And I will start with the game on Thursday against Central Baptist. I thought it was, and I haven't seen all your games, all five, but I've watched a couple of the road games as well. I thought it was, for you personally, the most complete and almost perfect game that you could have played. You're nodding your head. You're in agreement, I'm assuming, that you're all in on this.
Yes, I would agree with you. I think that all the shots that I got in the game, I made them. I was 4 for 4, so that's good. I think everyone can look at my stats and they can see that I don't shoot that much during the game. So when I get an open shot, I try to take it. But yeah, I think that my role in the team is rebounding, so I always focus on that. So if I don't score any points, I'm not too worried about it, but I think that yesterday when I had an open shot, I took it and I made it. So
you're the Dennis Rodman of the team. Don't care if you score, just want to rebound.
Right. I try to just fit into my role and do the best that I can in the role that I'm supposed to be in.
I know that rotationally, I think the men's team has a lot more question marks of what they're trying to find chemistry-wise. The women's team, it's the starting five, same starting five all the time. Yeah. But then you get this little point guard like Carson Morgan, who all of a sudden has come in a little bit, and she was one of the ones that gave you a tremendous pass inside on Thursday.
Yes.
What has she kind of brought to the team? And she actually scored a little bit out in Kansas, too.
Yeah, I think she's a great addition to the team. I think that, especially as a freshman, it's really hard because the pace of play in between high school and college is just so much different, the physicality, and a lot of the times in practice we try to give it to the freshmen, but you just can't you can't stimulate that physicality in practice all the time. So her first real time is playing in a game. So I think the first couple games you're trying to just get the hang of it, but I think once you get the hang of it, she's looking really awesome. So I'm really excited for what she's going to look like the rest of the season.
So why did Thursday look so much better, and maybe just for you individually, than, say, any of the other previous 4 games?
I think that me too. I'm just getting comfortable with a few additions to the new team. And I also think that playing at home makes it easier, just being on your home court. You practice here every day, so you're comfortable with the baskets, the rims, the atmosphere. My family was there. That always helps.
I was talking to Coach Reese, and you even talked about it before we sat down for this, and he was saying, make sure I ask you about your role on this team. And this is not joking around. This is serious, because you used to be a perimeter shooter, shooting threes, and he comes in, he sticks you down low. And I don't know if you liked being a perimeter before. It's well before my time here, but it seems like this is where I would have pegged you as an inside player. Yeah. How difficult was that switch for you to go to, I'm just shooting threes, I'm standing out here chucking to, wait a minute, now I'm in the post with all these bigger girls? That, how difficult was that?
So I will say the first year that Coach Reese was here, it was a difficult transition, but for me, I just wanted to play. So I knew that we have a couple more posts now, but when I was first here, it was me and one other girl, maybe 2 other girls. So I knew that if I wanted to play, I had to adapt to my role in the post. And I always knew that everyone I would guard would be bigger than me, stronger than me. So I just have to, for me, about playing defense on them is all about using my body, doing my work early, getting in front of them early. But it was a difficult transition, but Coach Reese, we had to talk about it. And it was if I want to play, I have to adapt to this role and do the best that I can in it. And I feel like that's what I just try to do every game, every day at practice.
Thursday, like you said, you don't shoot it a lot. Do you wish you shot it more?
Honestly, for me, at the end of the day, it's all about winning. So I'm not concerned about if I score a certain amount of points or if I get a certain amount of rebounds. If we win at the end of the day, I'm happy about it.
Senior Makenzie Schierding, our guest here with the At the Half segment. So 4-2 in a conference opening win coming into the matchup today. Is this a really good spot for your team to be? There's 2 in the L column, but overall, are you happy with where you're at?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think that our 2 losses in the L column, they're against, one of them was ranked top 4, I think. So, they're good teams. And a lot of the times we're competing with them. So I'm super excited about where we're going into. We definitely want to go 2-0 in conference. So the game today is really important to us. So I'm really excited, going into Thanksgiving, we want to go 2-0. So I'm really excited about today. I think it's going to be a good matchup for us. I'm just really excited about this team. I think we're only going to go up as we play more together and get more team chemistry. So I'm really excited.
It's funny, we have such limited time. We've gotten into good conversations with all the guys and the girls that we've talked to at this segment. And when I had Darius on here, I wanted to ask him about this because I knew it, and we ran out of time and I didn't ask him, but you were the other half of the equation, because he said when he first came to UHSP, he didn't really understand how to balance the basketball versus school study load. And he said that you were one of the ones that really helped him hone in on how to do that.
Yeah.
Is that something that people might not understand? Like, they know kind of what they're getting into when they come here, but once you might not really know it until day one shows up and you start seeing the class load. And is that really one of the more difficult things, trying to balance coming to this school?
Oh, 100%. It was not, that's sweet of him to say. But yeah, 100%. Like on game days, like I think a lot of schools can just like, oh, it's game day. Like I'm only focusing on like the game today, you know, like who we playing, what's the matchup. But like for me, like especially with the game on Thursday, like I had a quiz on Friday. So I was like, okay, well, I know that I need to like give myself a couple hours before the game to study, which like not ideal, but like you just have to prioritize. So it's like if I don't do well in school, I can't play basketball. So like I know that I have to be able to time manage both of them. So yeah. You're
a St. Louis girl, Francis Howe, right? So yes. How has your career here gone compared to what you thought it would be when you first signed here?
A complete 180. When I signed here with Coach Allen, a different coach, but like you said, like my first 2 years here, I was a guard. I actually was a 4 in high school, but at the high school game, so much different. Like me being 5'8", 5'7", 5'8" on a good day. Like you're a post in high school, but when you come to play in the NAIA and in college, like 6'1", 6'2", like they got 50 pounds on the 5'7" girls, you know? So it's like, it's a completely different game. So it was definitely a transition.
You got to wear heels. You might be 5'10" one day.
I need inserts.
I'm so enamored, and I've talked about this. I can't remember who it was with. It might have been Elizabeth, but a lot of times during lunch, a lot of the girls come in and they'll talk with Coach Reese, and you guys are around, and this isn't insulting. It's good-natured ribbing with everybody.
Oh, yeah.
It's such a different conversation. Yep. And then when you get on the floor, I really watched you guys on Thursday and how you handle each other on the bench and what you're talking about. And that just transitioned right to the floor. Do you like that atmosphere? Because it can be offensive, I think, to some people if you're not ready for it.
100%. Yeah, I think that Coach Reese always tells us this. He calls us nerds, which we are. I will own up to the fact that I am a nerd. So like, we're not good. We're not serious people. We're not good at like being like, oh, it's game day, we can't laugh. We have to be focused on the game. We have to think about what plays we're running, how the defense is going to work. Like we are silly all the time. We banter with each other. And like Coach Reese always tells us, he's like, if you guys aren't serious people, like don't be serious. He's like, you don't play as well when you're serious and like try to focus in all the time. He's like, you guys are silly. He's like, be silly. He's like, but once the ball goes up, like it's time to play. So I think that's how we are. We just be ourselves. And then once it's game time, like we just play how we are.
So only, one day between Thursday's matchup and the one today. Do you watch film of your opponents much? Or did you watch film for Williams Baptist as opposed to just having a standard practice on Friday?
Yeah. So luckily we just got set up on film. We have watched film on Williams Baptist. And I mean, I personally really like to watch film just because it gives you a visual on who you're matching up with. I think that like we run in practice, we like go over their offense and how we should guard it. But I think that seeing it visually is extremely helpful so that like you can see the other team doing it. So when you get into the game, you're not as surprised when that screen comes or something like that.
We've got Emily Coleman coming up for our At the Half segment for Tuesday's game. I want to ask you one more thing. You're without Samantha Casting for about 3 weeks after the broken nose out in Kansas. How much will you miss her? And what does she bring that you're now missing without her?
Oh, we're going to miss her a lot. She's our best 3-point shooter. Like last year she was like mid 50s, I think. Like she was shooting very high percentage. Like she was top in the NAIA, I think. I mean, she just gives us such an advantage. Like when she's out there, she's catch and shoot, you know? Mm-hmm. And I think that what teams don't realize is she makes 3, 4, like that's a game changer, you know? And I think especially like when you're in the corner, like the backside corner, people can forget that she's there. So you just kick it, she shoots it, like that's a game, you know, a couple shots, it's a game, a game winner, yeah.
I'm Greg Tesh, the Assistant Sports Information Director. That's Makenzie Schierding. Thanks.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
That's our At the Half segment. Back to the College Cast crew coming up in a moment.